You said you've been writing, so just so that पहले भी मैंने बोला था ये कि especially this entire series feels कि I'm just a flute and the universe Krishna is just playing this song through us. That's how it feels. But anything that you found here that you've applied, it'll just give me this feeling of gratitude towards the universe कि कुछ किया तो उसे कुछ हुआ. So anything that you can think of that has
Bhai, in one of the first episodes, I think it was that imposter syndrome one.
Navigating
imposter syndrome. I think it was that episode only.
Yeah.
And see, again, of course, I've been hearing the podcast again and again and, being around all of you. But when I heard this, and see, I've known you since so many years. But through this outlet, when I heard this and when you spoke about your own process and, how Gita inspired you, again, but I was talking about how I approach other things in my life. But your perspective helped me realize, what? I can use this particular understanding of the Gita for my creative process also. Let us do the work. Let us constantly keep doing our thing, rather than again. So again, I was not stressing so much on the results ki ho kya sir aaye kya, but I was not putting in the required work. When you spoke about your journey, that sometimes I'll just go to the cafe, I'll just gonna sit, I'm gonna sit on my table, I'm gonna open my laptop, I'm just trying. I started doing that. And trust me, it's been a few months, I think, since that episode came out. Honestly, I'm telling you, again, not because, as you also said, not because you're sitting in front of me, and I think I've repeated it often before also, even during the course of this interview also. That was the turning point for me. That was the epical moment for me. जिससे मुझे लगा यार पता है यार ये सही कह रहा है मैं तो जा ही नहीं रहा यार. Let me create that creative space for me. बैठता हूँ, let me open my laptop, अपना काम करने की कोशिश करता हूँ, शुरुआत करता हूँ, let me see what comes out. And a lot of good has come out since then. बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है क्योंकि again, I'm not in a hurry to complete a particular article or complete a particular section in the book or whatever. I'm just trying to create that space, that time. Okay, let me just go out there and work. Let me just go out there and work. And the results have been tremendous for me, fortunately, by God's grace. Touch wood.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Super. And, one of the things I've been trying to do is to go back to the not just the Gita, but also to all the resources that I've been working with and say, okay, the artist's way, let me see what I can take from there and try and apply that.
Right.
And in the process, I'm realizing that I'm just touching the surface, right? So in a way, it's kind of becoming a circle, right? So I am reading about in the Gita. The Gita is inspiring me. So, for instance, in this staying on the bus, an episode that I that came out recently. It was basically about my journey. What I have keep doing is I find something interesting. I have this this habit of catching on to new ideas, new tools and saying, okay, let me explore. And then a little while later, I try them out and then either I get bored or it becomes too difficult and then I drop it and I move on to something else. Right? And when I, came across that shlok, it kind of was like a mirror. कि अरे ये तो मैं ही हूँ. ये तो मेरे लिए बनाया है. And it said, इतना मतलब, stay on course, right? And I had heard about this earlier. And I said, हाँ मैंने कुछ पढ़ा था. And I started searching and I came across staying on the bus. Now उस वक्त जब पहली बार मैंने पढ़ा था, it was like, we keep surfing and we come across a lot of philosophy, lot of good stuff, but it kind of comes and goes. अच्छा है, mark करके रखा, कभी पढ़ेंगे. And that never really, I never really go back to it. But this time, what I was reading in the Gita kind of, actually it was like a voice telling me, वो जाके पढ़. So I said, क्या था? कुछ तो search किया. I found that article. And James Clear has, written about it. It's not his philosophy, but he's written about it. And it made so much sense to me that if I do not stick to something and see it through to completion, तो मैं हर बार वापस बस स्टॉप पे जाऊंगा, फिर वापस टर्मिनस पे जाऊंगा, नई बसेस करता रहूंगा पूरी जिंदगी. I'll just keep jumping from bus to bus, and that in retrospect, it sounds like, "Arey, it's obvious hai." But sometimes the most profound things are the most obvious.
Obvious, yeah.
And that's the magic that I am seeing with the Gita, कि जो चीजें already पता है ना, वो जाके मेरे सामने खड़ी कर देता है. And I'm forced to confront my own self and say, अरे यार पता तो था, क्यों नहीं कर रहा था, right?
Wow,
and वो बार बार जब आ रहा है ना, तो एक तरह से I'm also like yes, but at the same time it's also कि यार अब तक क्या कर रहा था मैं. So that mix of emotion is kind of not letting me move fast. But I think what you said makes a lot of sense, कि just keep going, keep practicing, keep detaching
from that.
practice उससे भी detach होना है. वो feelings है कि मैं आगे नहीं बढ़ रहा हूँ, उससे भी detach होके फिर दोबारा. तो it is tough, but I think that's the only way out. So thank you.